The draft room in Berea is usually a place of hope, but for a few veterans on our roster, that excitement has quickly turned into a cold realization. As an insider who has walked these halls for years, I can tell you the atmosphere has shifted overnight because several familiar faces are now fighting for their professional lives. It is the cruel side of the business we love, where one phone call to a rookie can signal the end for a hard-working player who has given everything to everyone here. Talon Green is the name everyone is talking about right now, because his arrival from Arkansas has sent shockwaves through the quarterback room. This move directly puts Dillon Gabriel in a precarious position, as the math for the active roster simply does not add up anymore. When you look at the depth chart, we already have Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson locked in, which means the competition for that third spot is going to be a total bloodbath. It is not just the quarterbacks feeling the heat either, because the front office was incredibly aggressive in adding talent across the board during the draft weekend. At wide receiver, the selections of KC Conception and Denzel Boston have created a massive mountain for Cedric Tillman to climb if he wants to stay in the rotation. Tillman has the physical tools we all admire, but his history of injuries and inconsistent production makes him vulnerable to these hungry new arrivals. Even Jamari Thrash is finding himself on the roster bubble as the coaching staff looks for more immediate impact and reliability. The tight end room is seeing a similar overhaul, where Blake Whiteheart is suddenly staring down a crowd of fresh faces. The Browns brought in Joe Royer and Carson Ryan late in the draft, and while they might be rookies, their cost-controlled contracts make them very attractive to a front office managing a tight cap. While Harold Fannin Jr. is safe as a cornerstone of that group, Whiteheart now has to outperform guys like Jack Stoll just to get a sniff of the active roster. This is the reality of the modern NFL, where loyalty is often secondary to the search for younger and faster talent. We are seeing a complete reshaping of the middle and bottom of the roster, and it means that camp battles in July are going to be more intense than we have seen in a decade. The pressure is mounting for these established players to prove they still belong, while the rookies are coming in with nothing to lose and everything to gain. Every single rep in practice is now a high-stakes audition for their careers in Cleveland. The dynamic in the locker room changes the moment a team spends high-value draft capital on a player at your specific position. For the young quarterback we just brought in from the SEC, the expectations are sky-high because he possesses the kind of raw athleticism that can break a game open. He is a dual-threat weapon who forces defensive coordinators to rethink their entire strategy, and that kind of upside is hard for any coaching staff to ignore. When a prospect with that much ceiling walks through the door, the veteran standing in his way has to be nearly perfect to keep his job. It is not just about knowing the playbook or being a good teammate anymore. It is about providing something the rookie cannot yet provide. However, the NFL is a league that prioritizes potential over past performance more often than not. We are watching a transition where the team is looking for more explosive plays and cheaper labor to balance the books for the future. The wide receiver room is a perfect example of this shift, as the new additions bring a level of speed and separation that has been missing from the second unit. The veteran who once seemed like a safe bet for the rotation now looks like he might be a step slow compared to the 22-year-olds sprinting past him. This creates a fascinating tension during off-season workouts because the established players know exactly what is happening. They see the writing on the wall every time a coach spends extra time instructing the new kid, or when the front office mentions roster flexibility in their press conferences. The impact on the team culture can be significant, as leaders have to manage the emotions of guys who feel they are being pushed out. Yet, this is how winning organizations stay competitive in a league designed for parity. By constantly churning the roster and challenging every single player, the Browns are ensuring that only the most determined and talented individuals make the final cut. It is a grueling process that rewards the most resilient athletes while leaving others to look for work elsewhere in the league once the summer ends. The direct consequence of these roster moves is a team that is significantly deeper and much more competitive at the bottom of the depth chart. If these rookies can step in and play right away, it helps the Browns win more games because the drop-off during injuries will not be as severe. We have seen seasons derailed in the past because a backup could not handle the pressure, but this new infusion of talent aims to fix that problem. For the fans, this means every Sunday becomes a little more predictable in a good way, knowing the team has viable options in reserve. However, the risk of failure is also present if the team moves on from experienced veterans too quickly in favor of unproven youth. If a rookie quarterback has to start a game and he is not ready for the speed of the professional game, the season could spiral out of control. The same applies to the wide receivers and tight ends, where a missed block or a wrong route can lead to a turnover that costs a crucial division game. The stakes are incredibly high for the coaching staff because they are the ones who have to make the final call on who stays and who goes. They are essentially gambling that the upside of the newcomers outweighs the stability of the guys who have been in the building. This is a turning point for the franchise because it shows a commitment to a younger, more dynamic core that can grow together over the next few years. It moves the needle by creating a culture where no one is comfortable and everyone has to earn their paycheck every single day. For the older fans who have seen decades of Browns football, this might feel familiar, but the quality of the athletes being debated is much higher than in years past. We are no longer just looking for warm bodies to fill a roster. We are looking for legitimate playmakers who can contribute to a playoff run. The decisions made over the next few months will determine if this team has the stamina to survive the long NFL season. Imagine a scenario where the new quarterback takes the field during the preseason and looks like a seasoned pro from the very first snap. If he uses his legs to escape pressure and finds an open receiver downfield for a touchdown, the conversation about the veteran backup ends immediately. That is the best-case scenario for the Browns, where they find a future star who provides elite insurance for the starters. If the new receivers also show they can catch everything thrown their way, the offense becomes a multi-headed monster that is impossible to defend. But there is a darker path that we must consider as loyal followers of this team. If the rookies struggle with the complexity of the NFL and the veterans have already been let go, the roster becomes thin and vulnerable. If the injury bug hits the receiver room and we are relying on guys who do not know how to read a professional defense, the passing game will stall. The emotional tension in the building is palpable because everyone knows the margin for error is razor thin in the AFC North. One bad decision on cut-down day can haunt a team for the rest of the year. You can feel the nervousness in the air when the players walk into the facility, knowing that every meeting and every drill is being scrutinized by the front office. This is the ultimate test for the coaching staff to see if they can develop this raw talent into productive NFL players before the regular season begins. If it works, the Browns will have one of the most envied rosters in the league with talent at every level. But if it fails, we will be looking back at this draft as a missed opportunity to provide the support the veterans needed to succeed. The contrast between these two paths is what makes the offseason so captivating and terrifying at the same time. We are all waiting to see which version of the story unfolds when the pads come on and the hitting starts in earnest. The future of the season is being decided right now. The Cleveland Browns are at a major crossroads where the old guard is being directly challenged by a wave of new, hungry talent. We are watching a high-stakes game of musical chairs where some of our favorite players might not have a seat when the music stops. It is a tough reality to swallow, especially when you think about the hard work guys like Dylan Gabriel and Cedric Tillman have put in. But the NFL is about results, and the front office believes these rookies give us a better chance to bring a championship back to Cleveland. This is a move that either solidifies our depth or creates a massive void of experience that could come back to haunt us in January. Be honest with me right now, would you rather trust a proven veteran who has limited upside, or take a gamble on a rookie who could become a superstar? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below because the Dawg Pound always knows best. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more exclusive Browns updates. Make sure your notifications are on so you never miss a single beat today. Thanks.